A very shocking incident happened in 2019 in Malatur, Kerala, where many elephants were killed by hunters for illegal ivory trade. And this is now taken as a show called Poacher. It's Amazon Prime Originals. And today with us, we have the makers of the show, Richie Mehta, the director, Roshan Mathew and Dibyendu Bhattacharya, the lead actors of the show. Welcome all to India Today SoSouth.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
small
Thank you.
correction,
Thank
it
you.
was
Thank you.
2015, not 2019.
2015,
Actually.
yeah, correct. Thank you.
Right, no problem.
How did you come to know that this serious issue is happening in the state for since 2015, and how did the research happened for this particular show?
I came to know because this footage landed on my lap. I was doing a documentary in 2015 called India in a Day.
Yeah.
And it was crowdsourced. So people all over the country on one day would send me footage via Google. And I would take all of that and make a mosaic film based on everyone's footage. And one of the pieces of footage I received was of an ivory raid in Delhi, where Kerala Forest Department and WCCB, Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, NGO workers of the Wildlife Trust of India, basically, and Delhi police went through a door and found all this ivory. They sent me this footage, and I was so shocked by what I was seeing that I called the NGO, Wildlife Trust. I said, what is this? They said it was the biggest ivory raid in Indian history, and it was on your shoot day. So we thought we'd share the footage with you. And I said, I cannot use this for this documentary. I need proper context. Give me a few years. I'll come back and I'll learn more. And as I when I came back towards the end of Delhi crime, and I went back to Wildlife Trust of India, I got to know the wildlife crime fighting team. And then they connected me with the Kerala Forest Department. And I learned more about this case, and I was shocked. I could not believe wildlife crime was an issue, first of all. Didn't even occur to me. I didn't know they were wildlife crime fighters as a job description. I didn't know they were using all the techniques of law enforcement that we know, whether it's intelligence or whether it's actually on the ground work. But they're using it to stop species extinction. I was so enamored. So I said, I think the world needs to know what you people are doing. And I think this can be a way for us to explore all the issues surrounding conservation in a very exciting manner.
So also, what was the most challenging part in shooting in the forest, Richie? Because
the most challenging
it won't be an easy deal for you.
No, I mean, it wasn't. But look, there's challenges when you're shooting in the asphalt jungle in Delhi, and there's challenges when you're shooting in the actual organic jungle. And in this situation, it was about keeping a low footprint, making sure that the animals were not disturbed, because we are guests in their environment and we're trying to help them ultimately. So I think we had a bit of a communion, certainly with the elephants in the region, that we wouldn't bother them. We do our best not to bother them, and let them be, and hopefully in turn they reciprocate. And it turned out to be that way. But look, you're dealing with leeches, you're dealing with poisonous snakes and spiders. There was a thing with snakes can fall on your head when you're working, which is also why I wore a hat with a rim for the first time in my life, just so that if it falls on my head, it goes onto the shoulder at least. And you just have to, keep your focus, because it's their environment, and we are trying to help and reflect that reality, and in a way show the paradise that these people are sacrificing their lives to protect.
Even, and I also heard that it was a lead show that was happening in between.
Yeah. And I have to give credit to Namisha is not here. Namisha Sajayan, of course, the lead of the show and the heart of the show, not present in the interview, but she and many of the actors she was working with, oftentimes you call action and leeches are climbing up their legs and they're just holding the character and holding the scene. And the longer the shot, I'm acutely aware that the better the chance the leech will find skin. And, we do long takes. And then as soon as we call cut, people just go in and are taking the leeches off, and the actors are just like, but they're holding it. They're holding it. Everyone is holding it.
Great experience anyway. So Roshan, this is your second television show after Tan Lines, right? Like coming in a very major.
Yeah. I mean, like Tan Lines was sort of like a mini series, and that's that was really long ago. That was actually the first camera project that I did. Yeah, I'm surprised you even know about this. But
yeah. But again, so do you face any challenges as an actor doing for a show, unlike movie characters? Was there any challenges you faced?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're with the character and the story for a much longer period of time. We shot Poacher over 4 months, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So there's that. So if you don't get along with your team and all, that can be a huge challenge. But luckily, that wasn't a problem here. We really enjoyed shooting the show. But again, like, so this is an investigation primarily, and there's a lot of information going around. There are a lot of facts and figures, and you're not exactly shooting chronologically, so you have to keep the graph of that investigation in your mind. You have to be very aware of how much your character knows at this point. What are you after? What are the leads? While we're shooting this particular scene, what are the leads that you're playing with? And then there's also all of these characters, all three of these characters, Nimisha's, Debusa's, and mine. We have a personal life track also, which is moving parallelly. So you have to stay aware of that as well, where you are. And then I think it's just apart from that, as far as an actor is concerned, at least I think we're doing pretty much the same job. So for me, purely, it felt like it was a matter of time. And then obviously every filmmaker and every project is different, so you have to adapt to how one particular project is being made.
Right.
But yeah, all of that is the same with film as well.
It was a great experience altogether.
It was lovely. It was one of the most memorable shooting experiences I've had.
Even coming to you, Dibyendu, so you have done a couple of shows in Hindi and Bengali, right?
Yeah.
And so this is your first show in Malayalam, which is a language completely new to you. So how was that experience, and co-acting with Roshan Mathew and Nimisha Sajjan, are very established actors from our industry, from Hollywood. So how was that experience?
Yes, I'm lucky. Really lucky to shoot with these people. And if you say the Malayali part of it, then I am really kicked about it, because I envied them. Like, they know the language, I don't know it, and I cannot speak in Malayali. But I earned that because I've learned it, and I have delivered few lines in Malayali. So
you learned Malayalam?
Yes, I have delivered few lines. If you see
the whole some nice lines later on coming.
Yes, like you wait for the surprise. But of course, shooting in Kerala, and in the heartland. So it is fantastic, because I've been a bit to film. Of course, I'm a film watcher and film person, and from the drama school. So I grew up with Adura Gopal Krishnan and Arvindan and John Abraham, these legendary filmmakers, and like so much of culture with that. So, and good food.
Of course,
Kerala food, Malayali food. So it is fantastic. But film, the series, and Poacher shooting experience, that's a fantastic. That's a different thing that we talked about so many times. But the Kerala thing and Malayali thing is like, it's really, very. I was quite kicked up. And Roshan and Nimisha, of course, they're super actors or superhumans, of course, because Roshan is a snake charmer and a real life charmer also. So,
Roshan.
And Nimisha is, of course, a fantastically, genuinely a beautiful soul and a fantastic actress. You must we are missing her, because she's the heart of the show, actually.
Yeah.
So everything, and Richie and me, Richie is still gone through the script and Malayali lines, but I am quite completely oblivious about what is happening. But I always made a point that I will encroach into that conversation and destroy it. That I understand your language.
Great, fascinating. So Roshan, I feel like fluidity in languages is a new take in a couple of movies and shows of late, And personally, do you think it is easy to to get a universal acceptance, or do you think there are some challenges when it comes to the authenticity of the show? What do you think personally?
I don't think it affects the authenticity of the show in a negative manner at all. In fact, I think it makes it all the more authentic, because that's how why would these people not speak in multiple languages? Why would they all stick to one particular language? Like, let's say I'll throw a very simple example at you. Nimisha and I have done two projects together before we went into Poacher. And on one particular set, we used to speak in Hindi when we didn't want people around us to understand what we were saying. So there's a certain like politics to using language also. People like anybody who lives in any city in India or anywhere else will on a daily basis be switching 2 or 3 languages minimum. We're all doing it. So I've been wondering for a while why we aren't making stories which are multilingual in nature, because there's so much to be explored there. There are it's firstly it's so much fun to play with different languages. It makes the whole thing a lot more real, and then like the reasons for switching language itself is something, it's a great tool to play with. So I don't think I think it only boosts the authenticity of the, like, imagine if Poacher was fully in English or fully in Hindi. It would make no sense. It would be like some of these old films that we've seen where story travels far and wide all across the world, but wherever we end up with the story, all characters are speaking the language of the industry. It's that's what's not authentic, right?
Right. Nice. So, Richie, from location to language, everything was foreign to you. And how was the prep done for that?
Oh, very methodically, one step at a time. Yeah, because it was very foreign, but it was exciting to me as a result. I was so interested in how everything unfolded. My research trips were also about understanding culture and food and how things worked. And I mean, they were mostly in the forest region. So, I'm learning about how humans and wildlife interact, how people who have lived in that environment forever, what their daily lives are like. I'm learning about it. And so for me, learning is the most interesting part of the whole job. And then when we start to actually mount the production, it's one piece at a time, working with as many locals as we can. The actors were great guides for me. Production team, our local production was handled by someone named Alan McAlex, who was a line producer based out of, originally from Kerala, based out of Bombay, and back and forth. And, the team that he assembled locally was incredible. So they guided us. Kerala Forest Department, I worked very closely with them, and they were guides. And these are people who have traveled all over India, worked everywhere in different forest environments, different reserves, speak different languages, but based out of Kerala. So they are my ambassadors to understand them as well. I had a lot of help. But it was very exciting. After doing 6 projects in Delhi, I had enough, to be honest.
So you actually started your prep and everything since like when? It happened like
the research process began in 2019, literally a couple of months after Delhi Crime released. 2019, and then the actual production process began the end of the pandemic, towards the end of the pandemic.
End of the pandemic, good, right? Nice. So Neil. Coming to your character, Dibyendu, Neil, how tough is the field director, Neil Banerjee? I'll put it there.
How tough?
Seems like the Neil was so tough to their co-officers. Never seems like an easy PC officer, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is of course a completely outer shell of Neil Banerjee, because when you see the softer part of Neil Banerjee, you have to see when he's reacting to his niece, and because that is what the character is all about. It is so multi-layered and so complex, because human beings are complex. So I always say one thing, that because the life is so complex, so that work you do make it so simple. Because otherwise you don't make any complexities when you are working, when you are focused, when you are a crusader. So that is why he's very focused. When it looks like he's very tough. He's like one-sided mind. But the thing is that if you go deep into his character, he is also a vulnerable character. He is vulnerable. He is docile in front of the little niece, and like he cannot tell lie to that little princess. So So that is the beauty of these characters, Neil Banerjee. So yeah, he's a crusader. He's a tough guy, but he has a softer side also.
Nice, nice. Oh, that is a lot of twist. I think it's coming on our way.
Yes.
Anyway,
yeah. It is.
full of twists and turns, I believe. Anyway, to you, a similar question to Roshan as well. So, how easy is it for an Intel analyst to, help the forest department in such a serious issue? Because for an analyst, it's like a big issue that is happening. It is not easy for a mediocre analyst to come up with such issue and deal with it.
There is no way I can answer this better than the way it's been shown in the show.
Sure.
So yeah, that's precisely that's precisely what you see Alan do in the show and how he contributes and the reasons for why he does. So I just really hope that
in a step-by-step manner, actually.
Yeah.
It's one step at a time.
Analyst meaning like your life, your work, everything, a proper work-life balance should be there, and you're messed up in such a huge issue that is, which is a talk of the town, matter of the moment for a while. And it was not easy to come out of that as well, right?
Yeah, so the stakes are so high on this particular case that he's willing to mess everything else up for it also, grudgingly as he may be doing it, but he's this work-life balance that you're talking about, everything's taking a turn for the worse. But he realizes that, okay, this is what's important. He realizes that this is the most important case that all of them have been, for their entire life, this is the most important case that's come up. And it deserves everything that they can give it.
Oh, great. Okay. Anyway, so Richie, after winning an Emmy Award for Delhi Crime, do you think your expectations have grown over time? What was your first thing that
my expectations
taking on such a serious issue as a show? Yeah.
As in my on myself?
Yeah.
My expectations on myself have always been the same. Have always been I approach each project like it's the last project I will ever make. So I put everything into it, and I have not necessarily accounted for the fact that I'll do another one afterwards. So it's all in there. So my expectation of myself is this better be it. This better be everything that I believe in the moment. I better not compromise anything. My approach to Delhi Crime was exactly the same as the 4 films I made previous. And certainly my approach to Poacher was based on the discipline I'd already developed before, but much more now. It's because it keeps increasing over time, exponentially. It has nothing to do with the Emmy. I was researching and writing Poacher well into that point when the Emmy came, which was a year and a half after Delhi Crime released. So it was, and during the pandemic. So it just happened. And then I just said, okay, this is amazing. I hope it's easier to get Poacher made now. And then I carry on my way. But all that stuff, my expectations of myself have not changed. You better put 100% into this fully.
Great. So Dibyendu, one question to you, like if Neil is going to pitch this story to the audience, Neil has less than 24 hours to pitch this beautiful story to the audience.
Less than 24 seconds.
And how will you pitch it?
To pitch.
Sorry?
No, 24 seconds to pitch, not 24 hours. It's 24 seconds to pitch.
Yeah, go on.
24 seconds to pitch. I will actually मैं रिची ने कुछ दिन पहले एक लाइन बोली थी जो लाइन मैं बिल्कुल उसको चुरा के बोलना चाहूंगा because I will steal that line from Richie that it is a hardcore cutthroat crime thriller based on Animal Planet.
Oh.
So
nice.
that is the Poacher is all about.
Yeah.
Nice. And
there's some justice also in that all of our lines are anyway stolen from Richie.
I suppose. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not stolen.
Nice.
Yes. Rightfully taken.
Rightfully used.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully. So one last question to Richie, and we'll wrap it up. What will be the one tagline you will be giving for this show?
Oh, the tagline.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the tagline that we have all agreed upon, which Amazon came up, which was lovely, is murder is murder. Doesn't matter who is murdered, what life form. But certainly, again, it's like what Dibyendu said. My pitch is, this is the story of people all over India who came together to basically solve the largest wildlife trafficking ring in Indian history. And it's about people who are willing to sacrifice their lives to protect all life on Earth.
Yeah. Nice. So that was a beautiful 20 minutes with you all, with the Poacher team. It was nice having you. Nice meeting you all here. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Meera.
you. We hope you enjoy the show.
Yes.
Thank you, Meera. Thank you.
Same here.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thank you,
We'll get
Meera.
back to it.
Thank you.